Forever. Dog.
Hey everybody, it's Michelle Collins. Welcome to part 2 of Midnight Snack. I'm here with my guest this week, Ben Mandelker. Now I'm saying it the other way. And Ronnie Karam of the Watch What Happens. That's hilarious. Of Watch What Crappens. This is wine. This is why I can't drink.
We did it to ourselves, too.
You know what? Actually, one of the joys about having our silly name for our podcast is that every now and then a real deal celebrity gets confused. And one time, Kelly Ripa tagged us. I was like, I'm on Watch What Crap. Like, she was like, here I am backstage. And like, we had like a blue dot that was like, Kelly Ripa mentioned you. And I was like, it's happening. And then I realized she just fully had a typo.
I am
She's probably
legitimately
blocked us now.
definitely blocked you. But honestly, that's exciting. All I want is for Kelly Ripa to think I'm funny. And like fun. That's it.
If she doesn't think that you're funny, then she has something wrong with her brain.
And do you think she's a monster in real life? I think she's a monster. I hear rumors that she's a monster in real life.
As someone who likes to work in the industry, I've heard she is the loveliest, most kind. I can't even believe you'd say that on my podcast. Where Tracy, edit that out, please.
Oh, sorry. What, you don't want to work with Jennifer Lopez or what? I can
call back to Tuesday. I like it. I deserve it. Go on.
Yeah, you're not worried about J-Lo, but you're worried about Kelly.
Well, what am I going to work with J-Lo on? I mean, she's not going to be on a panel show anytime soon. Maybe
J-Lo is ready to panel. Yeah, she's ready to panel. Yeah,
you think J-Lo's ready to panel?
Ready to panel.
Do you remember when she came out with that cop show on NBC and we're like, is J-Lo doing a cop show on NBC? She will do that. She will do it.
Was great in it.
Wait, she was on
Blue something.
Well, she was in Out of Sight. That's what I thought you were talking about. This is a different show.
She had like a police procedural like 3 years ago
Ray
on NBC.
Liotta. With Ray Liotta's facelift.
It was a full-on generic police show that J-Lo started.
It was not generic. How dare you? J-Lo played a crooked cop. J-Lo TV show. Shades of Blue. That's what it was.
Oh, yes.
Missy Ray Liotta.
She works. I would not be surprised if she comes out with a panel show. That seems like it's very up J-Lo's,
It's called like The Reeler. Keeping it realer. That's going to be the tagline on it.
Bitty bitty talk talk.
Bitty bitty talk talk. I would actually watch that.
Boys, can we have a real talk? Well, you guys were recently on Watch What Happens with our king and savior, Andy Cohen. You know what's funny with Andy? Let me say something about him. I've met him a number of times. Always been delightful with me. Never, I was on Watch What Happens 100 years ago when I was like literally I was like Kate Winslet on the door in Titanic on The View. When they asked me to be on it, I was like, yeah, I'll do it. But anyways, long story short, he's always been kind to me. But I always want to like be in the clique with Andy. And I know because I want that, it will never happen.
I don't have that. I feel like he's just like really like worked out and takes good care of himself and rich and successful and has a lot of gay friends like that and gays like that. I don't know. I'm terrified of gays like that because they're always like, ew. This is how I imagine that they are when I walk in the room. That's all I can see. So I'm kind of terrified naturally.
I can understand. I agree with that though. I know what you mean. When there's like, I say this as like an outsider in a way, so I don't want to, but if like I see like a super buff G, they'll usually adore me just because like I'm tall and funny, but I know what you're saying. Like, cause I'm not being judged by them sexually. So it's like the free for me.
It's like the, it's just like the gay, famous clique, like when there's a bunch of famous gays together. No one's ever really been mean to me, but I just can hear it. I can hear their thoughts.
Do you think that's in your head though?
Yeah, of course it's in my head.
Yeah.
It's totally. Hopefully.
I mean, I like resent them. I like, whenever there's like power gays, I resent them, or like circuit party gays, or just like popular gays. It's like a weird thing where I'm like, I resent them because I feel like I'm on the outside. And then the moment they show like a glimmer of like, oh, you're funny, Ben, I'm like, all I want is their approval. I can't help it. Like I really just want everyone's approval at all times.
I was going to say, like, do you understand why I have social problems in life? Is that I seek approval, but when I don't get it, I'm like a fucking gremlin with water on its back after midnight. I'm like, I will fucking kill you. You know what I mean? So I get it. Trust me. Like, you know what I mean?
I have so many vendettas with so many people. That
my vendetta list, I'll be honest, I'm going to actually say something interesting. I have found, say something in a vague way, but I have found in the past few months, I think that quarantine has actually been illuminating for me in many ways. I'm going to have an honest moment because, you know, you have to reevaluate who your real friends are. I think a lot of people kind of had moments. I've lost some friends in quarantine, not from the virus, socially lost them. So it's not as depressing as it sounds. But I think that we all kind of reevaluated our lives. And I know it's happened with people who are in relationships where they're like, what am I doing here? Or some people really glommed onto each other, what have you. But what I found is that I think before this whole thing happened, I was like, honestly, a bit negative. Like I feel like I sort of thrived off of negativity a little bit, even in my comedy. Not necessarily because I was always like funny. And, you know, you guys have known me a long time. But I feel like I have let go of so much. Like that whole people pleasing thing, I think it's taken me almost 40 years of my life to realize like that's bullshit. Like fuck that. Like I of course want people to like me because I am still annoying, but I also realize that like it's just not going to happen. And the reasons are so beyond your control that to think that you can have actually any control over what people think of you is ridiculous because people, every single person, including all three of us, are fucked up. So once I had that moment, that could be quarantine plus age plus, you know, maturity and living, all these things. I feel very
I think
free.
Maturity, living, having an iconic car. I think all those things.
I'm gonna kill him.
Really.
Did you get the pictures, by the way? Go on.
They have not. The pictures have not come in.
I'm gonna kill it.
No, but for real, I actually think. I mean, pandemic may have accelerated some of those feelings.
Yes.
But I felt like I've also gone through something like that, and I still will always care what people think.
Of course.
But I used to have some real chips on my shoulders. Yeah, we are. That's just how we are. But I had some real chips on our shoulders. I know with our podcast, there was definitely like a period of time when I felt like we weren't getting our respect. And I was like we don't get invited to South by Southwest, da 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 da. But you know, at this point, we actually have gone to South by Southwest and things like that. And it's sort of like one of those things where it's like,
there's always something bigger.
Well,
there's
you
always
let it
something
go,
bigger.
it comes. That's what it is.
Yeah, there's always something bigger that you're being left out of. And it's like, you're not that important for the whole world to just like, that's what I've had to, it's like, you're not important enough to hate, you know, like Vanderpump Rules. All the things you learn from TV. Like, but you know, living in the South, I've learned to just take knowledge from little things you see in the Cracker Barrel. Like, you know, those signs that they sell, like, the only normal people are the ones you don't know too well. I'm like, you know what? That is true, Cracker Barrel.
I'm gonna make this episode just gonna be 6 minutes long because I'm ending it there. I can't continue.
But there are so many things like when you really just look around, you know, there's so many lessons in life. So thanks, Cracker Barrel.
I love lessons.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. Have you guys changed?
I love
Let me ask you a question. And by the way, I just want to point something out. The pictures are still sending. Do you think that you guys have? You're never gonna get them. It's like I made it up. They're coming though. Do you think you guys have changed since? I can't imagine there's a person in the country or in the world who has not changed in some way since March in America's case, but let's say January, February, March, since this shit blew up. But the question is, do you recognize where you've changed?
I don't know where I've changed. I probably have changed in some ways. I think one thing that I've come to realize is that I've actually been, by and large, I've always been like, I'm actually okay. Like I'm happy being inside, and you know, we work from home anyway, and so this wasn't that much of an adjustment. And like for the first few months, I definitely was like I'm fine, and I still, by and large, feel fine. But at the end of August, I actually came down with a case of Bell's palsy.
What?
And I was
Are you kidding me?
I had like a very minor Bell's palsy.
How did you find?
Like,
I had no idea, Ben. How did you find that out? I'm so sorry.
No, it wasn't. No, there's nothing. It's fine. There's nothing to apologize for.
Yeah, but that's scary.
But thank you though. But it was. I felt like weird tingling in my cheek, and I was like, "What's that?" And so then I had to go to like urgent care. And the guy was, I thought I had botulism. I thought I had eaten old pickled shallots.
Big, you know? Like if you're going to have something fucking glamorous and famous, you know?
Yes, because I remember the episode of Empty Nest where there was a kid who got botulism and the doctor stayed up all night trying to figure out what it was and finally figured out it was botulism.
I know that from Nun Sense because all the nuns died from botulism.
Is that true?
That's always seemed like so like musical theater-y and fabulous to just die of botulism.
I have to say, you just triggered me with botulism. One quick thing is that one time my mom bought some kind of like Caesar salad dressing that came in a jar. I'll never forget it as long as I fucking live. And she opened it over the sink and it like shot up like a can of snakes. Like the dressing has clearly something was wrong with it. And she dipped her finger in it and tasted it and went, I think it's fine. Wait, closed the jar again, opened it again, and it exploded again. And I remember being like, and it clearly had been botulized and my mother survived. But to this day, I remember thinking, this is the most horrifying food thing I've ever seen happen. Like, I can't believe it was literally like a science fiction movie with this ranch dressing or whatever the fuck it was.
Is that what botulism does? It makes like things air.
I think it poisons food. So it did something. It was like rotten food, rotten dressing. Yeah.
I had pickled some shallots and I was eating and I hadn't touched them in about like a week and a half.
So
of course, this motherfucker, Otto Lange part 2, pickled some fucking shallots. Go on.
And so I had put them on a taco, and I was like, this tastes weird. And I was like, and I had like a few more bites. I was like, is it weird or is it just me? And then I was like, I think this is weird. So I stopped eating them. And then that night I got the tingles.
Oh no.
So I was like, is this botulism? And then I saw you can get botulism from poorly pickled things. And I was like, those pickled things I made. So I was like, oh my God. I was like, I was convinced I had botulism. And so then I went to Kaiser. And
the new E-show, Botulized.
Botulized.
Instead of botch. Go on.
So I went and the doctor's like, he was basically.
The other pun I thought it was diving Ben and the butterfly. But anyways, I don't want to bring it up. Go on. It's a serious thing. He's dealing with it. Go on.
No, I mean, so the doctor was like, you actually have like a very textbook case. And like, I caught it really early and they gave me medication because I didn't realize that Bell's palsy is actually a virus.
What? So you can turn it around? I had no idea.
Well, you just have like, I took antivirals. And I guess maybe because I caught it so quickly, you could barely even see it. And so
that's really scary.
That really is scary. And I don't like how they name it because it sounds like so fun and terrible. Because like palsy obviously is terrible, but Bell's are really fun. And it's like, make up your mind. Stop making me like half into this disease.
Hey, Midnight Snackers. Now that I'm in London, you know what I miss back home? My Helix mattress and my friends. Unfortunately, my London flat does not have my Midnight Helix mattress, which I love so much. But why do I love it? Well, it's an incredibly comfortable, medium firm bed, just like me. Perfect for side sleepers, and it was designed for pressure relief, which we could all use nowadays. Helix Sleep are American-made, personalized mattresses shipped straight to your door with free, no-contact delivery, free returns, and a 100-night sleep trial. It doesn't matter what position you sleep in, whether you run hot or not, or how firm you want your mattress, Helix has mattresses for everybody. To find out your match, you just take the 2-minute Helix quiz. They gather some information about your body type and sleep preferences to find you the perfect mattress. It's that simple. And it's not just me that's a Helix fan. Helix was awarded the #1 best overall mattress pick of 2020 by GQ, Wired Magazine, and Apartment Therapy. Plus, they have a 10-year warranty, and you get to try it out for 100 nights risk-free. And they'll even pick it up for you if you don't love it. But obviously, you're going to. Just go to helixsleep.com/Michelle, take their 2-minute sleep quiz, and they'll match you to a customized mattress that will give you the best sleep of your life. And right now, are you ready for this deal? You know you are. Helix is offering up to $200 off of all mattress orders. Get up to $200 off at helixsleep.com/Michelle. That's helixsleep.com/Michelle. Hey friends, at this moment in time, you might be looking to talk to someone about what's going on around you or what you're dealing with yourself. And if so, I wanted to remind you that you can always turn to BetterHelp. BetterHelp is professional counseling done securely online. And they have so many different counselors with various expertise that you're covered for whatever you want to work on. These are licensed professional therapists you can chat with over the phone or video, whatever you're comfortable with. However you want to chat, set it up with your therapist and do what's best for you. Another perk, BetterHelp is more affordable than traditional offline counseling, and you can start talking to your therapist in under 48 hours. Such a quick turnaround, and with everything going on, who wants to wait? BetterHelp assesses your needs to give you your own therapeutic match. They're committed to pairing great teams, so it's free and easy to change counselors if you ever need to. So visit betterhelp.com/Michelle. That's BetterHelp, HELP, and join the over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional. In fact, so many people have been using BetterHelp that they're recruiting additional counselors in all 50 states. If there's a therapist who's listening and looking. And of course, a special offer for all of my listeners. Now you can get 10% off your very first month at betterhelp.com/Michelle. That's 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/Michelle. I actually have to agree with you, Ronnie, that I would say after Legionnaire's disease, which is the one disease I want because it's so fancy.
Sounds fabulous.
Legionnaires, and then I would
scare too.
Okay, why has Ben like, what is this, like The Act? Wait, what was that show called?
Ryan and I also had a measles issue. So
where the fuck would you get me? By the way, now I'm actually wine drunk. For the listener,
let me tie up the Bell's palsy.
Please, finally, Ronnie has to talk too. Go on.
I'm fine. Then we can circle back to poop on the floor, okay?
Yes, I'm not done with my story. I'm joking. Go on.
Let me tell you something. When you think that the two things that could be happening to you are either botulism or a stroke, and then you're told, oh, you have Bell's palsy, which is just a virus, and you can just take these meds and you'll be fine in about 2 weeks.
Yeah, you celebrate.
You're like, it's like literally not stressful. You're like, oh, it's fine. I was just very lucky. Some people, their cases go on for like several months.
Oh my God.
But the whole reason why I bring this up is because like clearly the stress and the anxiety of like the world at large was affecting me in deep ways that I was not aware of. I consider myself lucky that I was actually more or less chill and happy at home. But I was actually being affected. And that was the thing that I took away from this was that.
Are you okay now? I hear something with your voice.
No. Yeah, that was, and now he's sobbing.
I had Bell's palsy in the throat there for a second. I'm verklempt.
And are you all right? Something happened just now.
Listen, after this, I'm going on to like Mayo Clinic. Be like, what happened to my voice for that
by the way,
on the podcast?
And then name a clinic. Grateful.
Name a clinic I love more than the fucking Mayo Clinic because I'll put mayo on anything. You know that.
Yeah.
I will smear mayo.
Where's the white bread
named after a condiment?
That's what I mean. We should match clinics because I will literally eat mayo on white bread like Jennifer Aniston.
That's what I've learned, that I really love bread and butter more than anything in the whole world, and I can eat it every day and do.
There's nothing more delicious in the world. You know what I learned from my mother? European. Take a piece of bread, put some butter on it. Sometimes if you even want to put a piece of cheese. When I was little, I would watch my mom take bread, butter, and cheese, and I was like, this woman has mental illnesses.
Had it for breakfast.
Who does that?
I have a loaf upstairs.
That shit is delish.
So
God,
good.
It's good.
Yeah. I think that's another thing. That's another thing from the pandemic is that like, I still always want to try to get rid of this dad bod that I have hiding under here. But I also found that like, it was really liberating to say, I'm going to be indoors for a long time. I can just like enjoy myself and not just like stress out every single moment I have a carb.
Ronnie, I don't mean to pit you two against each other, but Ben, since I've known you, you've always been extremely, in an understandable way, but different than myself. I'll be honest. Weight conscious. I feel like you've always been weight is not the right word. Health conscious.
No.
That's true. You've always wanted, gym and food.
Obsess about it. I would obsess about it.
Ronnie, am I right?
Yeah,
Ronnie,
I think
I
you're
wanted
logical.
the approval of the gays.
Yeah, but you're like logical. Michelle, I think when we talk about this stuff obsessively, it's more about like, oh my God, I'm so fat. Where you're just like, okay, here's the problem. I can't fit into my pants. And so here's the problem. I need to get a trainer and I need to eat healthier. And then you get a trainer and you eat healthier, which to me is just fucking crazy. Like, that's not how it works. Like, you pray or you like blame your mother or like,
you know what I
there's
did?
something else that can solve this,
I agree with everything you're saying. And I've done all of those things, but I went on keto for like a couple. Keto for me is, I'm like Vicky Gunvalson's daughter. Brianna.
She loves that keto.
She does look good though. But what I realized, I was on it for like 2.5 months, and why I like it over all diets, because I like food. Like I like tasting good food. Why it's nice is that you can eat good shit, but you just can't have sugar. But once your brain is like off the sugar train, it is very easy to cut sugar. Actually, it's once you realize like I'm not eating bread and sugar, you can just do it. It's not a big deal. The problem was I realized that like every day I was just eating hamburger meat. Like I was just eating.
Same.
I was like deep throating Costco hot dogs, sans bun, hamburger meat. Like, I actually went to the doctor for my physical, and my blood pressure, which I've always had the most healthy, beautiful blood pressure, was like skyrocketing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And I was like, oh my fucking God, because I'm eating nothing but salt and I'm going to die from this. So I stopped doing it. Like, I think that's a lie, maybe a month ago, actually. And now all I'm eating in London is like chips and dip and Pret sandwiches, and that's it. And I'm going to die this way. It's just slower.
Last year, I went on keto in June, And I did it until early October, and I lost weight.
It does work.
I was definitely like, it worked. It worked, and I was the same thing. I was doing the dirty keto because
what's that?
Sometimes that's when you're just like only having hamburger meat and
I have never heard that term in my fucking life. I feel violated.
That's called dirty keto.
Is that like junk food vegan?
So like clean keto is when you're doing keto, but you're still like eating like avocados and you're
salad.
You're doing it like it's like clean keto. Like it's just exactly what you would think keto is. But dirty keto is when you're just saying, I'm having a wedge of brie, or I'm having
literally
a burger.
I'd eat like parm crisps. I'll tell you exactly what I ate. Almonds. I would eat like nuts, meat.
But you can't eat that many almonds.
You can only have
That's
a few
my
almonds.
problem with keto. Is they say, you can have some almonds, but then they still have all these carbs and shit, and you can't even have that.
You know what? That's bullshit though, because I would eat a fuck ton of like cashews and almonds and still lose weight. Like it's not true.
Yeah, because you're still largely going no carb, more or less, and so like. That's what I mean. I would be sitting there eating like salami and like when you're just eating just like
disgusting.
meat. I mean, Ryan and I, when I was on keto, Ryan and I went to Cleveland for one of our shows and we went to a steakhouse and I got this big ass steak with a giant thing of butter on top. And I was like, I'm allowed. And it's like, that's dirty keto right there. And guess what? I got I went to the doctor in last October. My cholesterol jumped up to nearly 300.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
He didn't test. You know what? I got a physical right before I came to London and my tests and everything else. I have not gotten an update about my cholesterol. I assume my doctor would have called me if I was like on the verge of death. Ronnie, do you remember when you and I went to Whole Foods in West Hollywood and you were buying nothing but cans of beans? Because I'll never forget it. Do you remember? Where you were like on some crazy diet?
You know why? Because I make a lot of, I'm vegetarian, so I don't eat meat, so it's a lot of beans. But also I'm Lebanese, so I make tons of hummus. I've always got, if you come over, I've always got hummus and gravy.
I love hummus.
I'm like a Sithi, you know? So
but you were on some crazy diet where you were literally like, I'm buying beans. Like it was crazy. It was like Oliver Twist. I was like, get your beans. Like, okay, go nuts. Like I don't care.
How much time we spent looking at soap? Why is that always a thing? Like the fancy soap.
Can I say something? You just triggered me because Whole Foods beauty department is where genuinely, like if I could picture a world in which I'm imprisoned in my least favorite places, the only place I could buy hair, body, makeup things would be the Whole Foods beauty department. Like that would be like my room 101 for beauty stuff.
Because no one's
fucking
hair
hate
looks
natural
luxurious.
stuff.
You know what I mean? No one like walks around the Whole Foods beauty department with luxe hair. It looks like Hocus Pocus in that aisle.
It's like really Patti Smith. Everybody looks like they dated Robert Mapplethorpe at some point. I'm like, do me a favor. I need silken locks. It's my signature look. You can't serve to me some witch, La Bufana for those Italians out there, and then expect me to buy your fucking patchouli soap. And that's, I love a Whole Foods moment, but not the beauty shit. Kiss my face. Shit. It's all garbage.
I feel like Sprouts is even worse because Sprouts is like the same thing, but cheaper. So you get like just the cheaper version. I don't know if it's better that it's cheaper or worse that it's
I'll tell you this. I do buy things that are like, I don't get animal tested stuff. I assume at this point they don't really do that anymore, even though my grandparents, well known, are buried right behind an animal testing facility in New Jersey. But do you know that story?
No, I did not realize.
Oh, yeah. My grandparents bought like some cheap land to get buried in, and it happens to be behind a Revlon testing facility, Revlon animal testing facility. And I always joked about it because it's like a huge Revlon sign. And I'm always like, yeah, that's where all the chimps are getting lipstick put on. And then we go to visit their graves. And the last time we went, this is not a joke, there was a fucking animal trap set up behind one of the headstones with fresh apples, like not browned apples, like fresh apples cut in it. And I'm like, did a chimp get loose? Like, is there a rabbit with eyelashes on running around the cemetery? What is going on? My mom and I, meanwhile,
those sweet apples.
My mom and I were like shooting tears of laughter. We were like collapsing in each other's arms. And my dad was like crying because he's at his parents' gravesite. It was horrible. My poor dad. We love him so much. Poor Mel. Anyway, poor Mel has to deal with so much. My mom and I are two animals. You know that. We're just like animal people, and that's all there is to it.
Hey, I'm Kelly.
And I'm Lindsay.
And we're from Teen Creeps.
And I'm Alaska.
I'm Willem, and we from Race Chaser.
and we're here for some real talk, okay? We want to sit down and have some real talk. So
sit down.
We want to talk to you about wireless plans.
I hope your seat is comfortable for your little tush, because breaking up with your old wireless provider just got a whole lot easier thanks to Mint Mobile. Mint Mobile is introducing their unlimited data plan for just $30 a month. Let that sink in. An unlimited plan for $30. How much is your soon-to-be ex-wireless provider charging you?
For people that hate their phone bill and are ready to cut ties with big wireless, Mint Mobile offers their premium unlimited plan for just $30 a month.
By going online only and eliminating the traditional costs of retail, Mint Mobile passes significant savings on to you.
So what does that mean for you? We'll tell you. All plans come with unlimited talk and text plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network.
Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and keep your same phone number along with all your existing contacts.
And if you're not 100% satisfied, Mint Mobile has you covered with their 7-day money-back guarantee.
Break up with big wireless and switch to Mint Mobile's premium unlimited data plan for $30 a month.
To get your new unlimited wireless plan for just $30 a month and get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/Michelle.
That's mintmobile.com/Michelle.
Well, I believe that sometimes chemicals are good, like Whole Foods.
Yes.
Whole Foods, that beauty stuff is terrible. Sometimes when you go to grocery stores and you see an apple that's like this big and you're like, oh, well, that's obviously GMO.
Oh.
But people worked for decades and centuries trying to make those GMO apples.
I'm
a lot of
GMO.
work went into that. That's an art.
Fuck the apples. I'm huge. I'm a big GMO person. I respond to things that are like me. So I like big oversized things.
I
like
literally
big
feel like I
yams.
am a GMO person because my head is bigger than everyone else is.
Yes.
Like even when I'm really thin, I'm bigger. Like I'm just bigger, big boned or whatever. And
No,
I
it's
think
true.
it is GMO
Yeah.
shit. I grew up on eating Little Debbie and drinking milk with tons of fucking steroids, whatever they put in it. What, not steroids. What am I trying to say? The girl
Hormones.
Hormones, yeah.
Yeah.
And my mom
Estrogen.
thinks that milk made me gay because she thinks all the hormones and all the milk I
Probably
eat.
That's going to be the title of the episode. Milk made me gay. That's all there is.
Harvey Milk.
That's all there is to it. We just titled the episode Milk
Yeah,
Made
Harvey
Me
Milk,
Gay.
yeah.
Harvey Milk, Stonewall made me gay. I could see milk making you gay. It's a pretty gay
Yeah.
drink, don't you think? I mean, of
Well,
all
just-
the
yeah.
of all the
gayest.
schoolyard beverages, it's
Yeah.
maybe Capri Sun, I would argue, is gayer than milk.
Capri Sun, I had a lot of as
It
well,
is.
so that's a good point. Actually, I
Capri
had a lot
Sun
of
is
that.
gay. Sachet.
Capri
It's like
Sun
a
is-
sachet you have to jam with a straw. It never opens up right.
Yeah,
Yeah, first of all, it's like very flamboyant with its like metallics, and it's also just like it also has like this thing like it's bragging that it came from Capri, which is also like very power gay. You know?
Real Italians say Capri Sun. That's how I should start saying it.
Capri.
Capri Sun. You're right.
Yeah, like Dorit.
Dorit. Wait, can we actually talk Bravo? Because to have you on this podcast
Please.
and not talk Bravo at all is a
We have
disservice.
Bravo.
Yeah, but also like truly, I'm not even joking you. I'm forgetting that we're making a podcast right now because
I know.
as someone who had I actually did move plans tonight to tomorrow for you two, which I'm happy to have done. But like, this is more fun than my plans. Like, this is really fun.
it's really nice to talk to you. I mean, I haven't seen you in over a year. I don't think.
By the way, Ronnie,
Yeah.
at least 2 or 3 years.
Really?
At
Was it
least.
that long ago?
Yes.
It was Thanksgiving 2 years ago then, right?
It must have been because I don't go to LA for fun. Like I actually almost did a few months ago, but then I was weird about flying. Like,
we saw you in New York, but it was to do your show, so we didn't get to hang out. I don't think.
Oh,
yeah, we did-
yeah.
That was
Oh no, I
Yes.
saw you in LA
No, that was
with
last year.
Laura. We were doing Amy Phillips' show at the same time, right?
Yes.
and then that was all within like the mixture of that was okay, but I have to say something. That after we did that taping together, you set me down such a hypochondriacal path because my
What? What did I do? I always do that. But what did I do?
This is funny. You're gonna laugh, but like I was having like a spasm in my leg, and I was like, "Oh, I'm having a spasm in my leg," and you're like, "Oh, well, that could be the first sign of MS."
It's true. Because I had spasms.
The next 2 months, I was like, "Do I have
He
MS?
was looking that shit
Do I
up
have
every
MS?"
day. He's like, I'm cold. I'm looking at it.
I remember exactly
chills.
what
Do I get the
happened.
chills from that?
I remember we were sitting at that bakery. Remember we went to that bakery right after we recorded? And then I was sitting right next to her. I was like, my hip is spasming. Well, it could be MS.
The reason why I said that is because I was having like spasms in my groin area, and I Googled it, and the like electrical shock spasms there, and the first result was MS. And then of course I dug my heels in because I was like, of course I have that, because you know that some shit's coming to me. I just don't know what. You know what I mean? Like I took a DNA test that said I was going to get Parkinson's. So like every day. I'm 5 times more likely than a normal person to get Parkinson's, according to my DNA.
Oh my God.
It's scary, but less likely to get Alzheimer's. And honestly, between the two, I'm happy. Like, I'm like, okay, I'd rather, don't you think?
I mean, I don't know.
Think about it. Talk to me. Anyway, back to MS.
Who would you rather? Parkinson's?
Yeah, exactly. Fuck, marry, kill. MS, Parkinson's, or okay. But no, the truth is that I would obviously fuck Parkinson's, because I was like, okay, good. Like this is like fine, because at least mentally I'll be like present. And you never know, they have like new medications and stuff. Anyway, I was sure that I had MS because of my groin spasms, but I got to tell you, I have not had them in at least a year, but that's why I knew so much about it.
Well, that's good.
Listen, let's talk Bravo.
I just always think I need to drink more water. Like if I have like a spasm or my muscles stop work, if anything, I could have had like 20 diseases by now and just never known, because I just drink water. And then I feel better.
In all seriousness, having now polished off 2/3 of a bottle of Côte du Rhône Rosé, you're right. And I have the tiniest bottle of Evian. This is all the water I have tonight.
I've been nursing this.
Let's talk Bravo a little bit, because so here's the truth. I'm not caught up to date on this week. I just got added to the screeners list. So this weekend, actually, during Lost Shows. Oh, are you not on it? Why not?
That's a great question. That's a great question.
You know what? We actually haven't tried in a while. There was a while where Bravo was like hating our asses, so we were kicked off all the lists, and we never knew why, because we don't know anybody over there to ask. But it was maybe like 2 or 3 years ago.
I'll send you their email. Just don't tell them where you got it from, but I'll send it to you.
We stopped asking, and we heard maybe it's because our name was too similar to Watch What Happens, or we heard things, but we never knew. But maybe, it seems like things are good now since they had us on Watch What Happens, and they're totally nice to us. So they're always lovely. Yeah. So maybe we'll try again, because, screeners. If you want to look at how excited I'm getting. Like screeners, to me, that makes me feel invited someplace. Like, I watched it early.
I wasn't on any sort of screeners list up until very recently, and it really does make you feel fucking fancy. But let me add, you never told me how Watch What Happens went. I asked you, and then we got sidetracked. Talk to me about it.
It was super fun. What was really cool was that it was us. It was also Danny Pellegrino and Amy Phillips and Ira Madison, and so we all know each other. So it felt like doing this. It just felt like we're all chatting, and it was kind of funny because, like, Andy is like the big star. And it kind of felt like we were all just like chattering amongst ourselves. It almost felt like Andy was like the new guy, even though he was like the star and the host. At least in my mind.
You declicked Andy Cohen, which is really a feat.
Yeah, but he was cool, and I mean, it was very surreal. It was surreal to be on it, and then also to be on it from home.
I know.
It was. I was also just happy because so many people ask us if we've ever been on Watch What Happens Live, and like now we can finally say yes, we have been.
I was on it once with Jax.
I remember that.
Which was hell. Of all the people to be on with.
You
really.
were so savage to him. It was great.
Well, how could you not be savage to him? He's begging for it, and I'm not, I'm actually quite a gracious host and guest. But when you have someone who's so hateful, and who eventually became quite hateful towards me, if you think you forgot about it, when I was hosting the 90 Day Live TLC after show, and he's a big 90 Day Fiance person. Yeah. He was, I think I blocked him. He was like brutal to me on Twitter, like as though I didn't have enough problems doing that show where all the fans are like so mean. But he was like a real fire starter for me. And I thought, you know what? What's fair is fair. Like, honestly, I was like, fair. Like, I get it. Well, works both ways,
No, but the thing is this, though. When people do that to him, he blocks them. And in fact, after we were on Watch What Happens Live, he blocked both of us. And we didn't even say anything.
That was our full circle moment with your story. He blocked us right after that, which was hilarious. It's like, oh no, I won't get to see Britney make a different version of Corn today out of a bag.
Oh, fucking like, Britney also. Let's talk about Britney too. Like, she's a monster. I'm glad to hear you say it. Talk to me about that, because I've always known that. But people are always like, she's so sweet. She's not. She married like she's dumb Hitler, come on.
she is a she's an enabler to an awful person.
That's right.
And she is the sort of person who will turn a blind eye towards terrible things in both her man and I believe also in society because she has decided that she wants to have a fairy tale XYZ. And I just think that she's like repulsive because of that. I'm sure she's like a very nice person to talk to. Like she's like perfectly sweet. Like, oh, I love stars in the sky. But like in terms of
that was like The Omen. Like something just happened to you. I don't even know. You became a different person in that moment. Go on.
But I think of the two, but Jax is the worst.
So method. Okay, Uta Hagen. Like nice Britney impression.
Uta Hagen.
Love mentioning Uta on the show. Big fan.
Yeah.
I'll say that. Let's talk. Okay, I'm going to bring some shows up to you. Now, I don't mean to brag, but I'm going to mildly brag, which is that I believe next week, if not the week after, on my Sirius show, I'm getting Wendy from Potomac. Now, let me say before.
Love Wendy.
Wendy has really grown on me. At the beginning, whenever they introduce a new housewife, there's those growing pains of, like, who does she think she is? I'll be honest with you, not to change cities so quickly. I'm really not feeling Elizabeth from Orange County.
What do you mean
all.
You're not feeling me? I've been through so much with my billionaire husband. I love her.
Wait,
for
keep
that.
Keep going. I need it.
I used to have a cabaret. Well, what I did was I ran the dinner theater and I met him there and I sang big spenders to him, and now look at me. I don't
know if I could talk about this much more, otherwise burnt my throat another lawsuit my way.
I think
she is the
so
fakest.
Cuckoo.
She's
Yes.
so fucking fake. I'm like, you with your fake teeth, her weird body. Like, I mean, and I'm not shaming. I'm just saying something about that woman does not read as human to me. And it's very odd. The whole season of Orange County, I'm not up to date on this week. I'm going to watch it this weekend. But the only person I like is Shannon Bedora's boyfriend. Shannon always ends up with men that I would give it all up for. Why is that?
Well, I actually am liking this season of Orange County
Really?
so far. I don't mind Elizabeth. She doesn't bother me. She is giving a little bit more friend of energy, but
She's so fake and aware of the cameras. It's so painful. I don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's still jury's out a little bit with her, but I don't dislike her. I actually think that Bronwyn's like alcoholism is fascinating to watch. I'm not like, a lot of people are already like, this is what the whole season's going to be about. But I'm actually okay with it. And I've been surprised actually by how much I've enjoyed the episode so far.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I don't necessarily need another alcoholism storyline because you know that triggers me and I get very defensive. Like people are calling me an alcoholic.
As I'm wine drunk doing this show, I'm like jerking off to the Bronwyn story. I'm like, okay, good. Like I'm like literally a bottle in basically at this point. But I agree. I know what you're saying. I'm just, I don't know, maybe I'm over it. I don't know what it is. Potomac is still slapping for me. Like, love Potomac.
It's
the best.
A weird
it's
time
the best
for
city.
housewives, too, because the world has just changed so much and people are really less likely to put up with the bullshit from these shows. Like, Ramona's, we're massing the ocean, okay? Or like going to Trump parties or beyond the politics has gotten bad, but just anybody. There's just so many people that are trash, and I think that people are less likely to put up with trash right now. But then,
that's a fact.
Yeah.
Then you'd be stuck with these shows with good people. Who watches those? I mean, I don't even know of any yet, but I'm sure they're coming. I don't want to see.
Yeah, I mean, I still want my monsters, but it's going to be a little hard. I think once coronavirus starts to really kick in on Orange County and then Kelly Dodd starts like spouting bullshit about, masks and it's not even a real disease. It's like the flu.
Black Wives Matter. What did she say? It wasn't Black Wives. It was
Drunk Wives.
She said
Drunk
Wives Matter.
Such an idiot. I have to tell you, my mom likes Kelly and my tank for defending anything Kelly does is at 0. Like I have no time for her. I think she's despicable. Is she entertaining? I'll give her that. Like she can be entertaining, but like in a way of watching Monsters Inc. Like I'm just like, okay, what do you do with this person?
That's how I've always watched those shows. I mean, I watch with a really judgmental, shitty eye. I'm just constantly throwing barbs and being mean. So for me, it's kind of fun, but yeah, it's just. I think it's just a stressful time in the world right now, and seeing it reflected on those shows is like, I don't want to watch Corona on TV. I don't want to.
You know what? Corona has really affected my shopping situation because it's saving me money. Actually, listen, real talk. Do I need anything? Obviously not. I have so much stuff. In fact, coming here, this is how stupid I am. I packed the most beautiful dresses to come here because whenever I come to London, always something very enchanting happens to me. So I'm like, for all those enchanting moments. Like I'll need like a beautiful turtleneck dress and all this stuff.
Michelle in London.
Yeah.
No, truly, I'm always like in a little, what's the opposite? I'm in like the Buckingham Palace hat, the opposite of a beret. Just in those. Like,
a tam.
And then I got here and it was like lockdown's happening. I'm like, okay, I literally brought like one pair of pajama pants. I'm an idiot. I'm wearing a cashmere sweater for this podcast because I was like, well, I want to look pretty. I didn't put eyeliner on though, but it's all right.
I would love for season 2 of Emily in Paris to be her just like jogging around Paris, and it's all like just locked down for a pandemic, and her just being just like totally snotty about it.
You know what?
Season 2.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. If there is a show I'll defend to the death, it's Emily in Paris. I loved every second of it. I watched it in one night and I found that everyone shitting on that show for me in this time that we're living in was a fucking Grinch. I'm like, you are a Grinch. If you were putting the show down, like, of course it's fake. Of course it's fake. It's done by Darren Star from Sex and the City fame. Like, it's a fake fantasy show where you get to go on vacation with pretty people for 6 hours.
I don't need it to be real. But we're covering that in bonus episodes, and we're just dying. Like I'm watching one every week, and we're dying laughing talking about it. It's fun to shit on it, but I'm enjoying it.
But the acting is good.
And I shit on it.
Well, you can do that too, but I'm sorry, it's well acted. I love that Gabrielle. I won't hear otherwise.
Oh, Gabrielle. Well, he's hot. No, Sylvie. It's really all about Sylvie.
She's the best.
Yeah, Sylvie's great.
And I actually think Sylvie is she is a really good actress. I think that honestly, I love watching. I watched the whole season and I loved it, but at the same time, I also love shitting on it because, as much as it is just this like cotton candy fluff and great escapism, there are also parts of it that are just like legitimately bad. Like they're just like bad TV making. And that's what's so fun to make fun of.
Well, I
which
don't
is what
agree.
Makes it part of the experience.
As a daytime Emmy nominee, I'm strongly, as the only person on this podcast who's been nominated for a daytime Emmy, let me just disagree that I think it's great television. I'll always have that over you. Maybe not always. You guys might get nominated or win when they put you on The Real, but you never know with J-Lo.
Yeah.
Let me add.
I'm going to go for a prime time just so I can be like, oh, let's talk about your daytime Emmy some more.
I mean, obviously, I'm joking about that. It's like, I think I threw the certificate out. I'm not joking.
No,
I was like, okay, this is garbage. That's a fact. Wait, boys. And what else am I missing on Bravo? I have not seen the new Below Deck. Let me ask you this before we go, because I'm getting texts from the famous Tracy, who people think is my fake producer, because I constantly yell out, Tracy. I thought Below Deck Mediterranean was like good, but also talk about dark. Like, oh my God, it had a real horrible energy. Who do you blame for that? Captain Sandy, Malia, Hannah? I like Hannah, as you know. Who do you blame for it?
Malia and Sandy, I do.
Yeah.
I think it was just really obvious that they've been over her. Sandy's been over her for a long time, and I guess can't get rid of her because of production. And I think that no matter what happens, it's like you wait for that moment to have that big fight with somebody. And even when it's not the best moment, you just start yelling at them anyway because you've been building it up in your head, and it's kind of stupid. I feel like that's what the whole season was. I mean, what she did was wrong and bad. And, like you can't fight for her and say, oh, she didn't deserve to be fired. Of course she did. But the way it was handled was really...
It was horrible. And you know what? And I love Captain Sandy. I've interviewed her. She's lovely. Her and her
we like
girlfriend
her too.
Came on. I think wife, girlfriend, I don't know if they're married or not, but they came on the show and they're very sweet. But like she had an edge this season of like almost like a Cheshire cat grin where I can't explain it. And I know her and she's lovely, but it was just like,
but she does have that
weird.
smile.
I have like a weird take, which is that I never got as mad at Sandy and Malia as everyone else did.
Really?
I was on Hannah's side, and I through all of that, but people were so angry at Malia and Sandy. Like they were saying they were the worst people on Bravo, which I'm like,
wow.
Jack.
That's obviously Southern charm.
They were getting death threats.
Yeah.
I just feel like people projected something onto them that I just didn't really feel at that level. And I actually think that like, I felt like the weaker part of the season was having to watch Rob and Jess like for episode and episode with their kind of relationship.
Was rough.
I actually blame Pete. I blame Pete because I think that, Pete being a full-on disgusting pig of a human being asshole, posting that meme, getting fired, they had to cut him out of the episode. And I think it actually kind of like fucked up the entire balance.
Wait, was he still filming and they just edited him out?
They edited him out of the second half of the season.
Is that true? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So
no
I
wonder
think
it was
that actually-
weird.
Yeah.
So I think that production actually they
did a good
have
job.
storylines.
How did they
a
edit
really
him
good
out
job.
of dinners and stuff? I don't get it.
He was
just
still
be,
there.
He'd be there. No confessionals.
You would see
Just
him
was-
there? I don't remember
Yeah.
that.
Sometimes.
Oh my
He was
God.
You get
Every
like
now
one
and then
little
he'd get a
glimpse.
line.
Yeah.
But the thing is that throws out these episodes have like arcs and A and B and C
Yeah, of
stories, and
course.
you strip something out, so it just sort of like makes it wonky. And I think that's I actually think that's why the vibe felt off, is that production had to completely reimagine their storytelling for the second half of the season.
You really rocked my world just now. I did not know that they left. This is like me finding out. I'm trying to think like Natural Born Killers, like JFK's autopsy photos being edited, and I'm just like, I can't believe. I'm trying to think of a reference that makes sense, but that really does shock me. I will say I did find Rob hot as shit, and I actually got into fights with my mom about it because my mom. I mean, physically. Physically, personality. She was like a true demon, right, Jess? But physically, he was as close to perfect for me as it gets. Being honest.
You're very. So do you like get hot when you watch like Game of Thrones battles? Because he looks like a Game of Thrones kind of guy.
Yes, I'm a woman. Yeah, I have a vagina. Yeah, of course I get hot when I watch that.
I know.
All those
I
like
just friended
ginger
you on
giants.
Flow, okay.
Forget it. That's my. Yeah. You haven't matched me on Flow. When you match me on Flow, you're gonna know everything there is to know about me. Frankly,
Your Milan photos still have not.
Oh my God! Wait! We have to actually. You have them?
Well, they didn't
actually,
come in the text, but Ben, in the email, if you look at the PDF part of the email,
you have to click the PDF.
Oh,
you'll see it.
Oh my God! Yes, let's end on that. This is a fun. Thank you, Ronnie. Full circle.
A whole bunch of reports. Oh my,
Michelle, this is bad. I mean, this is really bad.
Is this like a demolition derby?
Ben and Ronnie, just to call back to episode 1 of this week. This is how we're rounding out this episode. Have you ever seen a car in this bad a shape in your life?
That's really, really bad.
I mean,
it got it from the front and the back. Yeah.
That's what I mean. What happened to it?
It looks like an entirely different car. It looks like a Prius.
That's what I mean, because they like knocked the trunk in so much it got shortened.
Can we show the people? Are we allowed to show people?
Oh yeah.
Well, I'll post these pictures on Instagram. But you see the baby
okay.
shoe? It's like a little Nike in the back. It's so cute. What do you think happened? It wasn't demolitioned. It was clearly in a rollover. Had to be.
I mean, this is if it was an accident, it's a horrific accident. And
I don't think
there's nothing in this giant report that says what happened to it.
And let me add, by the way, that I don't believe, and this is how I know that this car was a fucking angel sent to me. I don't believe there were any injuries inside, because if you actually look at the interior of the car, the driver's, passenger's backseat are all intact. It's only the front and the back that's damaged. And I want to shout out Mercury and Ford Motor Company. They should sponsor me. How Ford has not sponsored me. I'm built like an F-150 anyway. Like they should literally give me money. No, I'm being funny.
You can tell
the fact they put the license plate on the hood there, just like pat it right on top.
Oh my God.
There.
Remember my license plate 6 the 818? Remember that, Ben? Where I went to 10-second story before we go. You remember this?
You could be a hip hop star.
Where I went to, that's funny. Yeah. I went to Ronnie, I don't know if you know the story. I'll make it 10 seconds and we'll wrap. I'm wine drunk. You have to forgive me. You have a call in like 2 minutes. I went to the DMV in Santa Monica, and the guy was like, I said to him, Jerry, remember him? He's such a nice guy, Jerry at the DMV. And I go, Jerry, can you please give me like a fun plate? Because I thought, much like when you choose a cell phone number, that he could like figure it out. And he goes, I can only give you the next thing that comes out of my drawer. And I was like, all right. So he reaches into his drawer, pulls out this manila envelope, tears open the top, pulls out the plate. He goes, do you want to know what your new plate is? And I was like, uh-huh. And he goes, 6 the 818. And now for those who don't know, 818 is a Burbank area code in LA, which is where I drove the car. It looked like a personalized plate, like some weird Costco fan, like fan of the, Burbank Connection, my favorite mall in LA. Boys, I cannot thank you enough. I've kept you here for an hour and a half, which I didn't think I would, but I can't let you go. I adore you so much.
Yeah. Even though you try, you can't let go.
Thank you so much for having us. This was really great to talk to you. I want to come see you in London. Great. How long are you going to be there?
So I am here basically from, that's TBD. I don't want to get into it. I don't know. It could be, can I tell you a 10-second story, which is that I only have this apartment for a couple more weeks, and then Airbnb is down because of the lockdown. So the question is where will I live? We'll see. I may have to go back. But on that note, everybody, if you don't already listen to watch what crappens. You're making a massive mistake. This should already pretty much tell that to you. They're just the funniest guys. You guys, your rapport, your chemistry with each other is such a gift. And I'm so thrilled for all your success. You guys have it really is crazy to see how you've blown up. I think you're like one of the most popular TV podcasts. Am I wrong? No.
Oh, thanks, Michelle.
Thanks. Yeah, but it's been crazy.
It's been wild.
Truly crazy.
Follow them on Instagram and Twitter at Ben Mandelker and at Ronnie Karam. And obviously follow the podcast at Watch What Crappens on Instagram, right? And then on Twitter, it's
It's at What Crappens on Twitter.
I've had an entire bottle of, let me just read the year out, 2019 Côte de Provence Rosé.
It's a good year.
I'm just going to show it in the video so people I have not finished it, but that's what's left. So it's not the whole bottle, but like 2/3.
That's good.
It's a pretty bottle. I've had
Isn't
two
that
Pellegrinos.
nice?
It's the first time I've ever been out with
I've had my little
friends
bottle
and
one.
had the least to drink. So,
it's also nighttime here, so I'm going to go. I have to go. Meanwhile, you're like, we also have to go. I do that on calls. I do that on phone calls and people are like, I really have to go. And I'm like, no, one more story. And then I'm like, listen, I got to run.
You actually do that to me all the time. I always do that. I'll say, anyway, Michelle, I always go, anyway, I got to go, Michelle. You go, no, I actually have to go.
I'm like, don't you dare go on me. I'm going to go on you. How's that? Target style.
Yeah, you say, not more than me. Not more than me.
I always say not more than me. I hate that person. Not more than me. That should be the name of the podcast. Not more than me. All right. Kids, be healthy, be safe, be young. I love you all. Tracy and Alex, thank you guys.
Too.
Follow me if you like on Instagram at Mishcall. And also leave a review if you love this podcast on Apple Podcasts. I really love reading people's reviews. Like, they're just fun to read. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you both for doing it. And we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Forever Dog.
This has been a Forever Dog production. Midnight Snack with Michelle Collins is executive produced by Brett Boehm, Joe Cilio, and Alex Ramsey. Produced by Tracy Soren. Original theme music by Gabe Lopez. Cover art by Ben Wiseman. To listen to this podcast ad-free, sign up for Forever Dog Plus at foreverdogpodcasts.com/plus. Check out video clips of our podcasts on YouTube at youtube.com/foreverdogteam. And make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Forever Dog Team to keep up with all the latest Forever Dog news.